All right, next part is going to be what's happening in the small intestines. So we're going to see that we do some chemical digestions of proteins in the small intestine. I'm sorry, in the stomach. We're going to see that a food is then going to move into the duodenum. And in the duodenum, we're going to have chemical digestion of proteins, carbs, and uh, lipids, all occurring because we have accessory organs. So if you want to, I don't know, maybe you put a little thing right here that says, liver plus gallbladder. And then you also have like, I don't know, pancreas going that way. Those are our accessory organs that are really important and attached to here. I don't know if you want to put over in the mouth, you can put salivary glands. Got teeth, tongue. All those to me would be accessory stuff. Okay. So chemical digestion starts and continues throughout the small intestine. And then the most important thing here is absorption. Let's not do that. I'm just going to make a second section for absorption. Again, absorption of sugar, absorption of amino acids, absorption of fats. Okay. The small intestine is also going to do peristalsis because it's going to move everything forward. So those are our basic functions of the small intestine. We're going to break the small intestine into two videos. The first video, we're going to look at the duodenum and the accessories, and then we'll look at the jejunum and the ileum and how absorption occurs. Okay. So here we have the duodenum. And what you can see is they have all these bumps and ridges. Those are the circular folds. So you still have some circular folds here. The circular folds are going to help us do some mechanical digestion and also help us with some absorption, but not a whole bunch of absorption should be happening in the duodenum. Mostly what's happening is we start chemical digestion. And we're going to do that utilizing products from two or three things, okay? So here we have the liver. The liver is going to be over on the right side of the body under the diaphragm, making up, I don't know, 2/3 of the superior portion of the abdomen. It is broken into several lobes. We have the right lobe here, and we have the left lobe here. And remember, it's this ligament, which is the falciform ligament, that's going to split our right and our left. That's actually part of our mesenteries. It's actually part of our ventral mesenteries. And then this part here that comes off is a ligamentum teres, which is a remnant of the umbilical vein. But maybe we'll learn about that later. Then underneath the right lobe, we can see there's the gallbladder peeking out. Okay. The liver's function is to make bile. And if you haven't watched blood yet, or we haven't learned blood yet, blood is, we're going to see how bile is partially made by bilirubin. And bilirubin comes from the breakdown of hemoglobin. But bile is essentially a bunch of salts, and those are going to help us emulsify fat. Meaning we're going to spread fat so we can cut it apart and we can transport it a little bit easier. On the posterior side, the inferior posterior side of the liver, what you can see is this is inferior vena cava. It's actually going to be the largest vein in your body, and it the liver is basically plastered to it, okay? I don't want you to think that blood goes through the liver and then part of inferior vena cava is part of the liver. No, you see that whole hole right here. This blood vessel is an entity of itself. It's just stuck in the liver, in the backside of the liver. So again, when we look here, this is the right lobe. How do I know that? There's the gallbladder. The gallbladder is in the right lobe, okay? And then this is going to be my quadrate lobe. And this is my caudate lobe. And then here's my left lobe. So again, the falciform ligament helps me figure out right from left. This all right here is the porta hepatis, which basically is like the liver portal area, and it's going to include a couple of different things. So one, we're going to see that the gallbladder has a duct right here. That duct is called the cystic duct. The job of the gallbladder is to store bile. So if the liver makes too much bile, it gets sent to the gallbladder and is stored temporarily. The liver itself will have its own duct system right here, and this is going to be the common hepatic duct. Which is part of the porta hepatis. These two systems, these two duct systems come together. I'm going to make this a white color. And when those two duct systems come together, that creates the common bile duct. This is upside down, so I'm going to draw it over here a little so that you can see it a little easier. The red thing is the hepatic artery, and the purple thing is the hepatic portal vein. Okay, so remember, everything's going to be absorbed from the digestive system, goes to the hepatic portal vein, which is at the bottom part of the liver. The liver filters it. It filters that blood, and then it's going to put that blood back into the vein, the vein system via another vein, which is called the hepatic vein. Those hepatic veins are on the top of the liver and then insert or dump blood into inferior vena cava. And we'll learn more about that when we look at circulation, okay? Then over here, we have the duodenum, and then we have the pancreas. So this is the pancreas. The pancreas has a head that sits in the nook of the duodenum, or the curvature of the duodenum, and then the body starts to go towards the left side of the body and points towards the left kidney along with the tail. You should see the tail of the pancreas. It's gonna actually point towards the spleen or towards the left kidney. Okay. The pancreas has two functions. The one that you want to know right now is that the pancreas makes pancreatic enzymes. These enzymes include amylase, which breaks carbs. It includes lipase, which breaks lipids. And then it also includes, I'm going to put it down here, trypsin and chymotrypsin to break proteins. Okay, so we're going to see how this works. And I'm going to do this by making my duct system up here. So I'm going to see that I'm going to have a duct system coming up from my liver that's going to come down basically like that. And then I'm going to have my other duct come off right here, and that's going to be for my gallbladder. There's my gallbladder, my other duct, okay? So I'm going to see I have my gallbladder, and this is the cystic duct. So stored bile goes from the gallbladder down the cystic duct into this duct right here, which is the common bile duct. When the liver makes bile, it's fresh bile, and it goes from the right hepatic duct and the left hepatic duct this way. Down that direction, this is the common hepatic duct. Into the common bile duct there. And then you have your hepatopancreatic ampulla, which is about right here. Which is basically where the common bile duct is going to meet this other duct. You see this other duct right there? This is the pancreatic duct, okay? Yeah, the pancreatic duct has like 2 ducts, but we're just going to pay attention to the one pancreatic duct. So remember back here where I was like, the stomach is going to push food or push chyme towards the pyloric sphincter. The pyloric sphincter relaxes, about a milliliter of chyme enters the duodenum. And then you can kind of see in this picture, there's a duct right here. And there's another duct right there. Okay, leading to that opening right there. So bile then squirts all over the chyme. Pancreatic enzyme squirts all over the chyme. Okay, then you push everything forward with peristalsis. You kind of mix it and you give it time to start the chemical breakdown. So you do want to understand, like, carbs make sugar. Carbs get broken down into sugar. Lipases get broken down into other things. So let me write that down. So we're going to have chemical digestion. This starts in the duodenum and continues into the ileum and the jejunum. So carbs become glucose or simple sugar. We're going to have proteins, which get broken down by trypsin and chymotrypsin, become amino acids. And then we're going to have lipids. Lipids get broken down into glycerol or glycerol and fatty acid chains. Okay, so that's what I want to have happen in terms of chemical digestion. And that's why the small intestine is so long, is basically to give it enough time to do all that chemical digestion. So let's say we did that chemical digestion. Now we have to absorb everything. So the next part, I'm going to show you how absorption works in the jejunum and the ileum.